What's up guys, it's MercyMain by the way, and I just wanted to talk today about a few Mercy mechanics you might not have known about, the Mercy specific settings I use, and how they're related. Before the video starts, I want to remind everyone that I made a Discord server and it's been pretty amazing so far, so it'd be really cool to get even more members, so check out the link in the description.
Heroes never die.
Alright, let's start with some settings. The first one I'll talk about is a relatively minor one, the Toggle Guardian Angel setting. This one's more down to preference, but I personally have this turned off and there's a couple reasons why. So as you can see here in this clip, with the toggle turned off, you can simply hold down the Guardian Angel button, which is shift for me on PC, and wait for your ally to come into view. The instant you have line of sight, you'll fly to them, which saves you time and guarantees you'll fly to those teammates who might pop into view only for a split second. You can also hold the button while Guardian Angel is on cooldown to use it the instant it's available again, as you can see here. So this saves you time between uses, and therefore lets you use Guardian Angel more often overall, since you can use it on cooldown and release it a little early when flying all the way to allies. As an added bonus, you only have to push and release the button once this way, rather than twice. This setting might take a few games to get used to, but once you do, I think it's much better this way. Now we have the big one. I have Guardian Angel prefers beam target turned on for several reasons. The first one is the most important one, and it's entirely based on the latent connection you can maintain on your beam even after losing line of sight. Turning Guardian Angel prefers beam target on allows you to fly to targets that you can't even see. If you have your beam on an ally and they move behind a wall or around a corner, your beam will still remain connected to them for about 1.5 seconds before breaking. With this setting turned on, your Guardian Angel will fly to your connected target no matter what, so during this 1.5 seconds, you can get to your teammate even if they break line of sight. This same mechanic also means that you can fly to your target even if they move behind several teammates who might otherwise block your targeting, which allows you to easily keep up with and pocket that Genji who's using his ult, for example. Now so far you might be saying, that's no big deal, how often could that be useful? But I can tell you right now, this mechanic has saved my life countless times. Now I'll explain this using a secret Mercy mechanic that you might not have thought of. So what if you're in a fight, and you get caught out in the open near the well on Ilios, with no cover and no distant teammates to escape to, and you're getting run down by a deranged Genji screaming at the top of his lungs? Where do you go? Well, straight into the well. Well, this isn't as suicidal as it sounds, I promise, but you can use your other teammates on the point to keep yourself floating safely in the depths of the well, away from danger. I'll demonstrate on screen here. This is probably the most difficult Mercy mechanic to master, but you can see here that I'm using everything I just mentioned to repeatedly bounce up and down inside the well. This setting is extremely important here, because at the times when you use Guardian Angel, you will not have line of sight to your allies. Once you jump into the well and you fall out of line of sight, your beam will remain connected for a short time, so you have to time your Guardian Angel so that you use it just before the beam breaks. This will take you upwards towards your ally out of the well, so then you have to cancel Guardian Angel before it takes you too high up and out of cover, but you also have to cancel it late enough so that you can re-establish line of sight with your ally, otherwise your beam will break and you'll fall to your death. Once you do this, you fall back down into the well, and repeat the process. Now here's where the first setting we talked about comes in handy, because if you have Toggle Guardian Angel turned off, you can hold down the button while you're falling and it will take you back up to your target as soon as it comes off cooldown. This is also pretty critical since the timings of the mechanic are pretty tight. If you wait just a little too long to reactivate Guardian Angel, the beam might break and you die. You may also have to use your hover sometimes during the fall since you don't want to fall so low that you die before you can fly back up. So then you repeat this process as long as the situation requires. Fall, hold shift, fly up, release before you go too far, and fall again. You want to go just high enough to barely peek over the ledge and refresh the beam connection duration. And during this time you have to keep an eye on what's going on, since people can still shoot at you in the well if they approach the ledge. Keep moving left, right, forward, and back during this time, and move unpredictably by turning your hover on and off while you fall. The bouncing motion of going up and down also makes you harder to hit. You can also switch your healing beam to a different teammate each time you come up based on who you need to heal at the time, or to use another teammate as your lifeline if one of them walks too far from the well. Keep in mind that this was just an example location, and you can use this mechanic anywhere there's a ledge. Another good spot is Nepal's Sanctum, where there's another great ledge right next to the point to use. Finally, you can use this mechanic to dodge things like diva bombs. So when it's about to explode, beam onto a teammate, jump off a ledge, wait it out, and fly back up after the explosion ends. Now there's also another reason that I have Guardian Angel prefers beam target on, but this one is less complicated. If you're following someone, especially a Pharah, this setting is a godsend, as it can be tedious to have to turn your screen to look at Pharah every few seconds to stay in the air. In addition to the fact that you might not even know exactly where she is at a given moment, so having this setting turned on gives you more freedom to monitor your situation while still having your escape route available right when you need it. It guarantees you'll be able to use Guardian Angel at a moment's notice without having to look around and find your ally. You can also usually tell which direction you're going to go by looking at your beam, which will bend into the direction of your target. There's one main argument against using Guardian Angel prefers beam target, and that is that people say that turning it off gives you more freedom to move. It lets you fly to another target without having to stop healing your current one. And while this is true, you can easily compensate for this with the setting turned off, and I'll demonstrate here. You can start by healing one target. Then you can turn to your new target and briefly disconnect the beam in order to fly to them. Then right after you start flying, you can quickly flick the crosshair back to your first target to continue healing them while you fly. It's a bit more difficult to do it like this, but you lose almost no healing this way if you're fast enough, and you get all the benefits I talked about earlier, which are impossible to gain with this setting turned off. So in my opinion, Guardian Angel prefers beam target on is the obvious choice. Now I'm going to go over two more settings quickly before I talk about a couple more useful Mercy mechanics. If you're going to have Guardian Angel prefers beam target on, then you have to have toggle beam connection off. If you have toggle beam on, then it makes it way too difficult to turn the beam off. In order to turn the beam off, you have to aim in a direction where there are no teammates and then left click. And that process is too clunky and inconsistent, and it causes problems. Since Guardian Angel prefers your beam target, then if you're healing someone nearby and you decide you want to fly to a faraway teammate, then you might accidentally fly to your current beam target instead, if you can't turn the beam off quickly enough. And for the final setting, I personally left the beam and Guardian Angel sensitivities at 100, because I don't really encounter issues with choosing the right target, and I like to be able to turn around quickly to heal and fly to people without missing. But this setting is honestly entirely up to preference. Now for some more mechanics. There's a technique that Mercy can use to get a little more distance out of Guardian Angel, if you're near the ground anyway. If you use Guardian Angel and release it as you approach the target while holding jump, you'll do a short hop that will continue your speed from flying, getting you a little more distance from your Guardian Angel. The key here is releasing Guardian Angel before you reach the target, because if you hold it all the way, you'll slow down to a hover at the end instead of bouncing forward. There's one last technique you can use specifically on bridges, which involves a similar idea to corner peeking with your beam. If you're on a bridge and a teammate is directly underneath it, you can still heal them without leaving the safety of the bridge. As I'm demonstrating on screen, you can connect your beam, jump off the bridge, and float back onto it repeatedly in order to maintain line of sight. You have to reverse your direction mid-air and do it early enough, or else you'll float off so far that you can't get back, but you still have to float out far enough to get line of sight with your ally. Well, that just about wraps it up for this video, guys. I hope you learned something, and I wish you good luck in your future games.